They look hot.
What did you say?
They look hot
Oh, they are. In more ways than one.
and sweaty. And like your toes are gonna come out looking pruny.
There's a good possibility, but, you know, sacrifices must be made. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on these potential bad boys right here. Potential because, well, it's really going to depend on which pair you get, so fingers crossed. But this is the long-awaited return of the Air Jordan 12 in the original taxi colorway. Ooh. And long-awaited forever. Like, man, when was the last time that these dropped? I reviewed them and it was a long time ago. Give me a second. Actually, while you wait, head over to our previous video, which is our Taiwan vlog, sneaker shopping in Taiwan. It was a really hard edit, so please appreciate it. Thank you. 2013, really, that was the last time, wasn't it? That's crazy. Now, real quick, this is the box. They come in an original style box, which I think is fantastic. The original colorways, primarily of the Air Jordan 12s, have been coming in this box. The newer colorways will still come in a very similar box. The only difference is the swoosh is replaced with a Jumpman. And that's just kind of letting you know which one was a Nike Air Jordan and which one is now a Jordan brand Air Jordan. Although, I have a feeling that we're simply going to move into simplicity. Well, what the hell? That's what that look was? I thought you were looking at me with like a look of like, nobody gives a fuck. That was the weirdest sneeze face you've ever done.
It was me trying to hold it in.
You look like you were like trying not to crack a smile.
Alrighty then.
All right, now before we get into the shoes, a little bit of a small deep dive into the history of this particular pair. It was the actual launch colorway of the Air Jordan 12s all the way back in December 1996. MJ would then wear the shoe throughout the 1996 and 1997 NBA season on a regular basis. Now, from there, this shoe has had not a ton of retros of the actual taxi colorway, but there have been a ton of variations of this particular shoe, at least with the taxi name. So in terms of retro history, again, the original version released in 1996. The first retro of the shoe actually released in 2004, and that was in a low top form. A lot of people were a little bit, I wouldn't say weirded out by it, but they were definitely like, what the f***? Like, where's the real one? Even though someone like myself who loves low tops was all about it. Not only did they release as a low top, but they did release alongside another version of an original colorway in low top form, which would have been the Obsidian Air Jordan 12. From there, our first real retro of the shoe was actually in a 2-pack all the way back in 2008 in what was known as the Air Jordan CDP, otherwise known as the Air Jordan Countdown packs. That was a lead up to the Air Jordan 23, and each shoe released in the pack together would equal the number 23. I'm gonna throw this one in there even though it shouldn't really count, but I think it's a fun release, even though a lot of people don't f with them nowadays, but they were hot back then, and it was the Air Jordan Air Force 1 Fusion in the taxi colorway. Now, after the 2008 Retro Countdown pack release, the shoe would not see another release until 2013. Again, we have a review on those if you wanted to check it out. The shoe would return in low top form once again in 2011. I believe we have a review on those too. And then from there, I'm not gonna name the years, but I will name the colorways of the variants or variations of the taxi name, just in case you were interested. There's the Taxi Flip, the Reverse Taxi, the Black Taxi. There's this Jordan 12 Clave Taxi that I've never seen or heard of until right now. And then the closest recent release that we've had to something like this was with the Air Jordan 12 Royalty, where if you swapped out the black laces that they came with a white pair of laces, it was very hard to tell that they weren't the actual taxis. It was a little gold Jumpman tab on the side that actually f***ed things up there, but a Sharpie can fix that. I'm just kidding, don't use a Sharpie, you can actually use paint, but still. Fast forward to today, 2025, and these bad boys are back for the, well, not the first time, but the first time in forever. At least that's the way it feels. Now, as far as the shoe itself is concerned, the outsole is all black. We've got solid rubber pretty much everywhere. Herringbone traction pods in the heel and forefoot. This shoe right here is one of my absolute favorites to play with on court. They do take a little bit of time to break in, but once you do that, they're tanks, and they will last almost forever. Going back to the outsole though, I just love that they have little tiny hits of color with the Jumpman and the yellow 23. I don't know why, I've just always loved this section of the outsole for some reason. On this specific colorway in particular, I think that this just looks really cool. There is a midfoot carbon fiber shank right here. It is done up in the black and yellow taxi look, hence giving it the taxi name. Taxi! Now moving on up, we have a Phylon midsole, and inside of that, well, hold on a second, I can show you. So again, outsole, and then moving on up, midsole, okay? These things feel like you're wearing a pair of boots, even though you're actually not. You just have to break in that bad boy right there. The carbon fiber plate is just a little massive. The rubber itself is also extremely thick, so this is the other section that you're gonna have to break in. So usually when you have a modern day outsole and you're holding it, it will flop because it's so thin. This is not like that. This is clearly holding its structure, and I'm holding it from a very tiny piece right in the center, so it should be drooping, but it's not. This is some thick rubber.
Too many jokes.
Yeah. But anyways, the midsole is Phylon, and as you can see right here, it is, I mean, what is that, like 1/4 of an inch, if that? It's very thin, so you're very low on the floor. Again, despite how it feels on foot, they don't feel like that, but you are actually down there. And then embedded within that is a full-length Zoom Air unit. It'll look just like this. This one is aged to, I suppose, perfection, but it's not. It's like, it's crumbling and stuff. It's made out of plastic. It happens. But yeah, that's the tech that's inside the shoe. It makes for an extremely springy and comfortable ride once broken in. This is one of those shoes where if you just give them the time, you will love them. Now the insole is a Dreamcell insole. I was a little bit disappointed in that. This shoe doesn't seem to be as treated as nicely as the black and reds or the white and reds that we received in terms of like the other original colorways in their most recent retro forms. So yeah, you're not getting a polyurethane insole. You are getting a Dreamcell. It's still good enough with all of the tech features, but it would have been nice to have gotten like the really nice premium insole, just saying. It's not glued in, so you could swap that out if you wanted to with anything else, whether that be a Move insole or whatever else you might have lying around. Now in terms of the upper, that's also not quite as nice as the previous two releases that I was just talking about, the black and red and the white and red. I'm not going to compare them to every Jordan 12 release just because this is an original colorway, and so I'm really just going to compare them to the way that the brand has treated the other original colorways. So I kind of wish that this particular shoe, being so highly in demand to have been brought back as a retro since 2013, I just wish that they would have given it like the full love treatment, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, that's just my only real complaint, is that they just don't feel as nice as those previous two. Will they get the job done if you just need your Taxi 12 fix? Yes. Again, just check your pairs, because sometimes, man, these 12s, they come out up, dude. Like, I'm talking twisted. It's crazy. But what we've got here is a full leather build with synthetic leather overlays. As far as the reptile embossed stripes that you'll see along the upper, the leather itself is kind of like a thinner cut and everything like that. It's got this like some of the panels are okay, like they feel or look okay, but some of them look like they're like got that fake texture on it and stuff. I still like the white and reds a little bit more in terms of overall leather quality, but again, is this going to get the job done for now? Sure. Do I still feel like the Air Jordan 12 massively needs to be remastered? Yes. Now you do have the gold aglets all the way at the top. They are not metal, they're still plastic. And then the rear of the shoe features one of the coolest back designs ever, at least in my opinion, where they share the same labeling that they would actually put on some of the Team Jordans. Not exactly the same, but just very similar. Where it says Jordan, quality inspired by the greatest player ever. I just think that this look, like this whole rear of the shoe is so pretty, even though it's so simple, but it's simplicity done in such a way that it just looks elegant and perfect. Followed by the 23 underneath that, perfection. Now in terms of fit, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear, that is exactly what I would recommend. And with all of that being said, what is today's viewer submitted question of the day?
About that Taiwan trip, did you pick up any action figures?
Not for me, but I did. So my son, well, I should say that my son and I really like import figures. I was really hoping to find like Dragon Ball Z figures for him, like the Figuarts versions. And they did have a couple of them, but you know, like my time there was really limited. So like most of it was spent working. Like I know a bunch of people were like, you should have done a meetup. I really wanted to. I wanted to do a hoop session and everything, but I just didn't have time. Like I was literally there to work. That's why I was brought out there. So I was working, you know what I mean? Like I was dead ass focused on making sure that everything that I could get captured would get captured so I can create the content that the people that flew me out wanted me to make. So that was basically the main thing. But you know, in between, like I was running into like small areas of like their stores are so weird. You know, this is something that I actually cut out of the vlog video just because the vlog was so long already. I might do like separate videos just showing you guys the stuff that you didn't see. I haven't decided yet, but I have so much footage. But you know, the space there is so limited because it's an island. And so instead of building things wide, they build things up. And so their malls are just, they go way up there, dude. Like it's crazy, and each floor is a different department and all that stuff, so it was like hard to find like figures and stuff like that, because you were always like in like the kitchenware section or the clothing section, and when it was clothing it was always women's, and then you get to the next floor and it's men's clothing and all of this stuff. So by the time I'd find some toys, like sometimes they just wouldn't be the ones that I know that he's into, but by the time I did, I had FaceTimed him. He already kind of like had most of the figure arts that he wanted from like the Dragon Ball line, so there was nothing there that he really wanted. But we're also into obviously like comic books and action figures in that way, like DC, Marvel, stuff like that, Image. So yeah, so I found some, what were they? They were, it was a Mafex. We did pick up one figure art actually. It was a Masked Rider or Kamen Rider, depending on, you know, where you're from. But for me, it was Masked Rider, the one from the Fox show that partnered up with the Power Rangers for a brief moment, which I thought was dope that he finally was like, yeah, I want that. I was like, yes, because like it's part of my childhood, you know what I mean? And then the other figure was a Mafex or Mafex, I'm not sure how to say it. It was the, I forget, all the names of the movies is the same, but which one? The second Spider-Man, where he's in the black with the red suit and he's fighting Mysterio. I love that suit, by the way.
Far From Home?
Is that the Far From Home one? Yeah, because he's not there, right? He's like over in like London or something.
He's across the pond.
Yeah, it's Spider Monkey. But yeah, so the black and red suit, or the red and black suit, the one that he makes himself, or sort of, you know, with Stark Tech. But we got him that figure and everything, and so like he was super stoked when I got back, and he loves them, and everything is all cool and stuff. I would like to actually go back. I feel like I missed stuff like in Taiwan and Taipei, Taichung, and all that stuff. It was a really long flight, but I will say that it was awesome. So like I would definitely go back if I can. So fingers crossed, but I guess that's the bummer of like having limited time to do all the things that you need to do and then not much time to do what you want to do, you know? So, but such is life. But with all that being said, sound off below. Let us know what you think about the 2025 version of the Air Jordan 12 Taxi. Do you have a pair already? If you do, what do you think about them? Did your pair come out nice, or did you get a wonky one? Is this maybe not a colorway that you even like or care about? I don't know. Sound off below and let me know. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. And until then, you guys have a good one.